Policy think tank IMANI Ghana says the Mahama-led administration has achieved 52.9% of its 2012 manifesto promises. The think tank said the administration was able to achieve a little over half of the 540 promises, describing its performance as fair.
IMANI's assessment of the NDC's performance in government is based on its 2012 manifesto promises, which was under the theme Advancing the Better Ghana Agenda. The report evaluated the execution of programs and projects stated in the manifesto. According to the IMANI assessment team, it applied the weighted average method by assigning 25% to governance, 25% to economy, 15% to human capital investment, 15% to social policy, and 20% to infrastructure development. President of IMANI Ghana, Franklin Kujo, justified the methodology.
The reason why we decided to use MDA reports mostly is because even though the manifesto says what it had to do, clearly speaking, it is the government machinery in place, the ministries, departments, and agencies that have to execute the work, which is why we didn't rely on the Green Book.
Government's best performance was found under education, where it scored 69.4%, indicating a good performance due to policies including the conversion of polytechnics to technical universities. Out of 59 promises, government had high scores in non-formal education, distance learning, and open schooling. However, government performed poorly in secondary school education and quality of teaching and learning, despite investing 28 billion cedis in education over the past 4 years. President Mahama's government made 211 promises and scored 43.9% under the economy, which was the weakest. Government had high scores in roads and safety, security, rural and agricultural finance. It, however, failed in maintenance of robust economy, financial service development, monetary policy, and stability in inflation. On governance-based promises, President Mahama scored 50.7%. IMANI scored the government 52.2% on its social policy promises. IMANI said if Ghanaians cannot feel the impact on their lives, it could mean that the promises were not based on their needs. The NDC's own assessment put their performance at 80% of its policy document.
So we joined on the phone line by Joyce Bawa Mokhtari, who is the national campaign spokesperson for the NDC and also Deputy Minister of Transport. Hello, Madam, and thanks for your time.
Thank you very much. A very good evening to you all.
Right. The NDC own assessment on its 2012 manifesto puts the performance at 80%, but IMANI has scored the party 52.9%. How do you reconcile the two?
Well, thank you very, very much. I do believe that the National Democratic Congress has since 2012 been actually working to implement policies under its 2012 manifesto. Indeed, you also know that we have recently launched our 2016 manifesto for President Mahama, working to build on all his achievements in 2012 right up to this point. Indeed, I followed closely discussions of IMANI Ghana in that regard, and I believe that at this time we probably have no comment. What I would be doing is to be reviewing the full statement as we go forward, and of course if anything comes up that requires our attention, we will be giving it the requisite attention. For the time being, we are focusing on President Mahama's campaign in the Bro and Hafo region. You do know that he's been touring the Bro and Hafo region this week, and that he's actually commissioned 2 community day senior high schools today, and we're looking forward to wrapping up on the campaign tour of the Bro and Hafo region on Saturday. For our part, we remain focused. President Mahama himself has indicated that we will be conducting an issues-based campaign, and our achievements are evidence-based. We are working very, very hard with our leader to transform Ghana and, of course, to change lives. So for us, we remain focused. We know that Ghanaians are better judges and that Ghanaians have actually vetted us on our performance. And of course, they will be working very, very hard to retain President Mahama for his second and final term in office. I would reserve whatever comments we have as a party on the IMANI findings for later, because I have not actually had the benefit of reviewing or vetting the full document.
Talking about the President Commissioning School in the Bunahafo region, IMANI Ghana has scored the NDC 69.4%, indicating a good performance. I mean, how do you, in your own assessment, is this assessment good enough? In your own perspective?
I would continue to maintain the fact that the National Democratic Congress has actually assessed itself over the period, and we agree that we've done a very, very good job. We've done a good job in all the facets of our development indicators. We've largely done a greater job even in terms of education, in terms of improving upon educational infrastructure, in terms of improving upon access, in terms of conditions for teachers and teacher trainees the world over. And you do know also that yesterday, President Mahama actually celebrated Best Teachers Awards with teachers in the Bro and Hafo region, specifically in Sunyani. So indeed, we have worked very largely to improve upon education in this country. You do also know that it's one of President Mahama's key policies for this country to work to remove schools from the trees, to improve upon teacher absenteeism. We actually worked even to remove the shift system because it was building truants amongst kids and actually working to ensure that kids avoided going to school. So yes, a lot of achievements have been shown in the field of education amongst other developments, and we look forward to Ghanaians retaining President Mahama for his second and final term in office. And indeed, he would be working to continue to improve and give even better access and above all improve infrastructure even better for the kids of this country.
Right, so IMANI Ghana in terms of infrastructure has really scored high for the party. But in terms of the economy, you were rated 43.9%, the weakest so far, as the group puts it. So is this true performance? I mean, looking at the IMF conditionalities and all that, is this true considering economic performance with Ghana at the IMF? Is that the case?
I do think that you have also followed closely on developments, that financial institutions have actually rated Ghana's performance under President Mahama's watch. Basically, that we've done very, very well. You do know that Moody's has recently come out with a rating that actually places Ghana in very good stead. You also know that the World Bank itself has said that in terms of the world downturn and outlooks, that Ghana's economy has remained resilient and robust. You would also know that the single largest investment in Ghana has been made recently by ENI in the oil industry, and of course by Meridian Port Services in the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Ghana remains a very, very attractive investment destination. President Mahama continues to work to build a resilient and robust economy for the good people of this country. And we look forward to the infrastructure development, creating the sort of jobs that we require. And President Mahama himself has mentioned that we need to look at further improving upon our manufacturing sector. Of course, that a fully industrialized Ghana will deliver the jobs that we all expect. So I do think that President Mahama has largely performed his duties creditably. He has led this country in humility and in all good faith. He has demonstrated a passion and a willingness to transform Ghana and, of course, to change our lives. And I look forward to the good people of Ghana retaining him for his second and final term.
Right. The fight against corruption has been a topical issue for years, and IMANI Ghana has scored the NDC 35% on corruption. Is there also a perception among Ghanaians that government has not made corruption unattractive? Do you share in this view?
Well, of course I do not, because I do believe that if more than any other government, this government has worked very, very hard to remove all issues to do with graft. Indeed, we have acted swiftly when such matters have come to the attention of the president and, of course, the government. Indeed, we have worked very, very hard in terms of allowing, for the very first time in the history of this country, a national anti-corruption action plan, which was adopted by Parliament. Indeed, we look forward to the implementation of this anti-corruption action plan bearing fruits as we go along. You also remember that this is a government that has actually tried its own members when there has been issues or challenges and investigations have found them wanting. We continue to fight corruption, but I do think that at any given time, more than any other individual, President Mahama has done his fair share to try and work on improving corruption.
All right.
We also know that our present manifesto actually indicates that we will be ensuring that we have Attorney General's representatives in each and every district so that we can work to remove and stem it in the bud. We continue to fight corruption, and we hope that it will be an entire citizen's effort, not just an effort of government. But I think that we have done largely very well in that regard.
All right. Thank you very much, Mrs. Joyce Bawa Mokhtari over there. We have been speaking to Joyce Bawa Mokhtari, who is the national campaign spokesperson of the NDC. That will be it for the big one.